Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ishi, you're on Ishi Time, and today I'm here to tell you my TBR for the N.E.W.T.s Magical Readathon, which is happening in August. I will link G from Book Roast's announcement video down below, and you can check that out. I also have filmed a recommendations video for this readathon if you also want to check that out. Anyways, getting right into it. The occupation that I've chosen for this readathon is Curse Breaker, which I'm super excited to become after I pass the N.E.W.T.s. To pass, I need an O in Ancient Runes, an O in Arithmancy, an E in Defense Against the Dark Arts, and an A in Charms. To get an A, I have to only read one book. To get an E, I have to read two, the A and the E, and to get an O, I need to read 3 books, which means I need to finish the prompts for the A, the E, and the O. Starting with Ancient Runes, to get an A in the subject, I need to read a book recommended to me by a friend. And for this, I've chosen a book a friend in real life recommended to me quite a long time ago, and I'm very excited to finally be reading it. That book is The Motion of Puppets by Keith Donoghue. This book is about a girl named Kay Harper, and she is working as an acrobat in the Cirque, and one day while she's going home, she falls in love with a puppet that she sees in the window of a toy shop that is always closed. Late one night, she's walking home and she thinks someone is following her, so she's looking for a place to hide, and surprisingly, she finds that the lights in this toy shop are on, so she goes in there and hides. The next morning, her husband, Theo, wakes up to find her missing. Meanwhile, she has been turned into a puppet and is now displayed in this toy shop. For her to return back to her human form, her husband has to find her and recognize her in her puppet form. This sounds very, very interesting to me. It's right up my alley. I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's also not too long, which I'm super happy about as well. And I have seen nobody talk about this book. So I will let you know if I like it, and I think I will like it a lot. Next, to get an E in Ancient Runes, I need to read a book written in past tense. And for this, I've chosen Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This book takes place in a world where there's no hunger, no war, no disease, and basically no one dies. And the only people with the power to take lives are these people known as the Scythes, and they basically kill people as a form of population control. Our main characters, Citra and Rowan, are chosen to apprentice under a Scythe, which is a position none of them really want, but they have to master the art of taking life, or else their own lives will be in danger. However, the power to take lives comes with a heavy, heavy price. I don't know what this price is yet because I haven't read the book, but I'm really excited to read it because I've heard great things about this book. I have read only one of Neil Shusterman's books before, and I really liked it, so I'm hoping I like this one as well. Finally, to get an O in Ancient Runes, I need to read a book that's been on my TBR for ages, and for this I've chosen none other than The Secret History by N.E.W.T.s. This is a very dark academia sort of book. It's about a group of clever, eccentric misfits who go to this posh and fancy private college, and with the help of their classics professor, they have fallen in love with classics and have started to follow a way of living and thinking that separates them from their fellow contemporaries. They have basically murdered a person in their friend group, and throughout this entire story, we're trying to figure out why they did it. I have been wanting to read this book since my Tumblr days many years ago. The Tumblr fandom for this book was thriving, and it probably still is. I'm excited to read it. I hope I like it, but there's also a chance that I won't because I read The Goldfinch by N.E.W.T.s and I really wasn't feeling it, but I really hope I like this book because I've been wanting to read it for a really, really long time. Next, we're moving on to Arithmancy, and first, to get an A in Arithmancy, I need to read a book that ends on an even page number. For this, I've chosen Maximum Ride by James Patterson, Volume 2, the graphic novel. This ends on page 256. This series is about a group of kids who were experimented on when they were little, and now they have wings. They're basically running away from the school, which is the place that had experimented on them, and this is Volume 2, so this is where their running away continues, but this time people are after them. I think the art style in this book is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And just, it's like a found family trope. I'm a big fan. I used to love this series back in middle school, and I hope I love it just as much now that I'm getting back into it. Next, to get an E in Arithmancy, I have to read a standalone, and for this I've chosen A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book is about our main character Connor, who has the same dream every single night ever since his mother fell ill and ever since she began these treatments that don't really seem to be working for her. But tonight is different. Dun dun dun. Tonight, there's a visitor at the window, an ancient elemental force of nature that only wants one thing, the most dangerous thing, the truth. That's what the Goodreads summary says, so that's all I know. But I've heard that this book is heart-wrenchingly sad, and also the author that first started writing this book passed away in the process of writing it, and he never really finished it. So Patrick Ness is the one who picked it up and completed the rest of it and published it. So that adds a really interesting layer to the story. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I'm never one to go and purposefully read sad books, so we'll see if I like it or not. Next, to get an O in arithmancy, I need to read a book that's longer than 350 pages. And for this, I've chosen Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan. This book is about a girl who can speak to gods who must find a way to save her people without destroying herself. There's also a prince in danger who must learn who to trust. And finally, there's a boy with a monstrous secret waiting in the wings. The path of these three main characters meet in a shadowy world of spilled blood and mysterious saints, and they must work together to assassinate the king and prevent a war. I have been wanting to read this for a really long time. It sounds very atmospheric and eerie and has got that otherworldly vibe to it that I really love in books. It was super hyped when it came out, and I think a lot of people liked it, but I haven't heard anyone explicitly talk about exactly what this book is about, so I don't really know what to expect going into it, but I hope I really like it. Next, we're moving on to Defense Against the Dark Arts, and for this I only need to get an E to pass this subject, meaning I only need to read 2 books. First, I need to read a book that's black under the dust jacket, and for this I have chosen Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This book takes place in a world where sorcerers are considered evil. Our main character is Elizabeth, and she has been raised as a foundling in one of the great libraries. She has grown up among the tools of sorcery and is charged with protecting the kingdom from their evil power. But one day, one of the library's most dangerous grimoire is released. I don't really know what a grimoire is. Maybe I'm stupid. But it is released, and Elizabeth must turn to her sworn enemy, a sorcerer named Nathaniel Thorne, and his mysterious demonic servant for help. Soon she finds herself entangled in a centuries-old conspiracy. As her alliance with Nathaniel grows stronger, she finds herself questioning everything she's been taught about sorcerers, about magic, about the libraries, and she finds that she has a power she never would have guessed. To be completely honest, this summary isn't really doing much for me, but I've heard great things about this book. All my friends who have read it, whom I've talked to on Twitter, love this book so much, which is why I'm trusting their opinions and have bought this book. So it better be good because I spent money on it. Next, to get an E in Defense Against the Dark Arts, the prompt is Gilderoy's Memory Charm. Read the first book you remembered for your TBR right now. The first book to come to my mind when I was looking through all the prompts that I would need to complete was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This has been on my TBR for a really long time. It was on my list of books that I need to finish in 2019 for sure. So I'm really excited to finally be getting around to it. In this book, there are 4 parallel Londons: the red, the black, the grey, and the white London. Our main character is Kel, who is one of the last Antares, which are people with the power to jump between the different Londons. And he basically charges people money to take them from one London to another, to give them a glimpse of a world they might never see otherwise. One day though, he gets in some sort of trouble and he meets a bunch of people and the world is in danger and he must save it. That's all I really know about this book so far, and I really don't want to find out more because I don't want to spoil myself. I want to go into this knowing as little as possible. I've only read 2 of V.E. Schwab's books so far, Vicious and Vengeful, but I absolutely love them both, so I'm hoping to like this one as well. Lastly, we're moving on to charms, and to pass this subject, I only need to get an A, which means I only need to read 1 book. And the prompt is to read a book I think has a gorgeous cover. And for this, I've chosen In an Absent Dream by Shannon Maguire. This is the 4th book in the Wayward Children series. I think all the books in the Wayward Children series have really beautiful covers. I love the background, I love the text, the font, so pretty. This is the 4th book, but the books aren't really continuous. They're about different characters and have different plots. So this book in particular is about a girl named Lundy, or Lundi, I don't really know how to say it. Not a big fan of that name, but she is a serious young girl who just wants to study and dream and doesn't really want to be like the perfect woman the world expects her to become. When she finds a doorway to another world that's built on logic and reason and lies and riddles, she thinks she's found her paradise. But everything at the goblin market comes at a cost, and when she finds her time in this other world coming to an end, she makes the type of bargain that never ends well for anybody. Right now, I haven't read any of the books in the Wayward Children series, but by the time I get around to this one, I hope to have read the first 3. I hope I like them a lot. I think I will like them because I've only heard good things about them, and I'm excited to read them, which is what I've said about every other book in this TBR so far. Anyways, that is my TBR. If you are reading any of these, please let me know, or let me know what you're reading, what occupation you are going after. Good luck on your TBRs. Anyways, my name is Ishi. Thank you for spending time with me, and I hope your day is as wonderful as you are.